kailabreece.
Recently I've been talking back and forth with a friendly gentleman from Argentina about the educational philosophy of unschooling. It has sparked my interest so much that I wanted to do an episode on it. Well, first, what is it? Unschooling is basically a philosophy defined by child-directed play and learning instead of adult-directed play and learning. The term was most likely started by John Holt in the 1970s. Holt was an American author, educator, proponent of homeschooling, and a pioneer in youth rights theory. Holt is regarded as the father of unschooling, and his created doctrine states that the use of standard curricula and conventional grading methods, as well as other features of traditional schooling, are counterproductive to the goal of maximizing the education of each child. So because of these beliefs, unschoolers sanction children to learn through their natural life experiences, including gameplay, household responsibilities, and social interactions. However, unlike homeschooling, unschooling has seen very little public debate and is still seen as an extreme educational philosophy by popular critics. Those in favor of the practice cite curiosity as the greatest learning tool. They believe that wonder is innate and that children want to learn. Some argue that institutionalizing children in what they call a one-size-fits-all school is an inefficient use of their time because it requires every child to learn a specific subject matter in a particular manner, at a particular pace, and at a particular time, regardless of that individual's needs, interests, or goals. The philosophy lends to the belief that the opportunities for valuable hands-on, community-based, spontaneous, and real-world experience are missed when educational opportunities are confined to the walls of a school building. Many unschoolers agree with John Holt when he says that the anxiety children feel of constantly being tested, failure, punishment, disgrace, it severely reduces their ability to perceive and to remember and drives them away from the material being studied into strategies for fooling teachers into thinking they know what they really don't. Now remember that unschooling differs from basic forms of home education in that the student's education is not directed by a teacher and curriculum. Now the student may choose to make use of teachers or curricula, but they are ultimately in total control of their own education, and the hypothesis is that this will lead to smarter children. Still, many criticisms do exist. Opponents claim that children lack the foresight to learn the things they will need to know in their adult lives. They say gaps may exist in a child's education unless an educational professional controls what material is covered. They say because schools provide a ready-made source of peers, it may be more difficult for children who are not in school to make friends and develop social skills. They say some children are not motivated to learn anything and will spend all of their time in uneducational endeavors, if not coerced into doing otherwise. They also note the limitations of the parents, as not all parents are able to provide the stimulating environment or the resources to encourage a student's curiosity. And they even note that the lack of a formal diploma from an accredited school may make it more difficult to get into college or get a job. My question to my fellow intellectuals is this: what do you think about the unschooling philosophy? Is it radical? Is it nonsense? Or is it revolutionary? Is it the 21st century reform that we've been looking for? Now, I agree that all children are born curious. I agree that children are not given enough empowerment. I agree that the testing and current structure of schools is in great need of transformation. But unschooling, in my opinion, is not just radical, it's ridiculous. I consider myself an autodidact, but when I was 10 or even 17 years old, I was not pursuing intellectual stimulus, and it wasn't because I hated or feared school. It had to do with maturity and wisdom. I wasn't yet mature enough to respond to my life circumstances. If I was allowed to go to bed whenever I wanted, I would have been up all night. And I lacked wisdom. I thought I knew it all. With good schooling, teachers can teach basic skills to everyone, allowing for equal opportunity. With great schooling, teachers can teach not just advanced coursework, but the yearning and desire to learn as much as one can. If we allowed unschooling to be the norm, I would think we'd see a rise in illiteracy. We'd get dumber. Bottom line, we can't afford to assume all kids are able to learn by themselves. Now those in favor may stand up and cry out, "You are forcing kids to go to school, and they are slaves." I say, slaves don't get educations. That's why education is a right and a privilege of wealth. Just for the record, compulsory education at the primary level was affirmed as a human right in the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now that speaks volumes. Unschooling is just unnecessary. We need reschooling and more schooling. And just to directly comment to my friend from Argentina, in Argentina, the literacy rate went up dramatically as soon as they enacted compulsory education. That's a fact. This is kailabreece. What do you know?